In the last video we created the cylinder shape with the hole in it so I can add an LED later on. Today we're going to make the front piece to fit here. This hole could also be used when doing it in a resin print to drain out the excess resin during printing. So I'm going to start off again with the circle tool on the green axis, so again left arrow key, pull along the red axis 15mm. Select tool, select the outside faces, change the number of segments to 200, pressing enter. Again right click in the middle, reverse the face. I'm now going to use the push pull tool, so either here or P on the keyboard, and I'm going to push this back 2.4mm. I now need to zoom around the other side, so I'm using the middle mouse button on my mouse, and I'm now going to use the offset tool, which is this one here, clicking on this ring here and move it in 1mm. The next thing I'm going to do is pull this out, so I need the pull tool, so again P on the keyboard, and I'm going to pull this out 1mm. So the next thing, turn into the front face, I need the select tool, and I'm going to make this a group, so highlight it all, make a group. The next thing I want to do is click in the group so I can edit it, and I need to find the center. I can use this tool, which is a plugin, and that will simply put the center section in for me, or if I just delete that a second, I could click on this, right click, find center. The next thing I want is the pencil tool, so this one. I'm going to draw a line across the red axis to this point, and then I'm going to draw a line up on the blue axis to this point. I'm going to use these with the tape measure tool, so I'm going to pull down on the blue axis 4mm. I'm going to select here on the red axis 8mm, then from here on the red axis 16mm. This gives me 2 points for starting the fireboxes. I now need the eraser tool, so again here, or I could press E on the keyboard. I'm going to delete this line here. I'll leave this one in because we'll use that later on. I'm now going to use the circle tool. I'm going to work off this now, and I'm going to use the green axis, and I'm going to pull this on the red axis 4.8mm. Using the select tool, highlight the outside of the ring, and I'm going to adjust the segments to 100. So I'm now going to click in the middle, right click, reverse the face, highlight the whole lot, right click again, but this time I'm going to make it a component, and I'm going to call this firebox. The next thing I need to do is double click in it so I can edit it, click on the outer ring, right click, find the center, click outside the group. So because I've called this a component, I can copy this component by clicking on it, and then if I click the move tool, or M, I can click on the center, press Ctrl, so that to duplicate it, and drop it on that point here, and then get the select tool again, click on this one again, click on the move tool, or M, Control, move it over. So whatever I work or draw or design on this one will be duplicated on these. So the next thing I want to do is get the select tool, double click in this group, and I want the push pull tool, and I want to pull this out 0.8 of a millimetre. You will notice these have also been pulled out the same amount. So I'm now going to concentrate on this area here. So I'm going to single click it, double click it, click in the centre, and I'm going to use the face finder tool to find the middle. So I'm going to zoom into here to make it easier to work. With the pencil tool again, I'm going to draw from the centre to the red line just so I can use the tape measure tool. So with the tape measure tool, I'm going to pull down on the blue axis 2.2 millimetres. I want to pull down again from this line on the blue axis 0.4. I now want the pencil tool. I'm going to draw up on the blue. So next I want the tape measure tool again, and I want to pull a line this way 2.8, and again this way 2.8. I want the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle corner to corner. I'm now going to get the select tool and I'm going to highlight that area there so I can pull it. So pressing P on the keyboard, I'm going to pull this out 0.6. So again, I want the tape measure tool, and I'm going to pull a line this way 2.4, and again this way 2.4. From this line here, I want to pull up 1.3. Then from here, I want to pull up 3.8. At this point, I'm also going to delete these two markers. And then I want to use the square tool, and I'm going to go from corner to corner for here. I then want the 2-point arc tool, which is this one. I'm going to click on these 2 points, go to the centre, and I want that to be 0.8. I then want the erase tool, and I'm going to delete this. And at this point, I'm going to remove some of the guidelines because they're no longer needed. I then want the push-pull tool again, and I'm going to pull this out 0.6. I want the tape measure tool, and I want to put the centre back in here, and I want to find the centre mark here. I want to pull up 1.6, and then I want the circle tool, and I want to pull a circle 0.6. I want the push-pull tool, and I want to push this back until it meets this face. I can then delete this line here, but I'm going to keep this other 2 lines that I've got. I want the tape measure tool again, and I want to pull a line up 0.85, and I want to pull a line down on the blue axis 0.85. Then from this line I want to pull down on the blue axis 0.4, and from this one I want to pull up on the blue axis 0.4. I now need one more line, which is here on the red axis 1. I then want the rectangle tool. I'm going to go in here, corner to corner, and also here to here in the corner. I'm now going to delete these 2 guidelines, this guideline and these 2. I'm going to leave these 2 alone. I need them a little bit later on. I now want the push-pull tool, so P, pull this out 0.3, double click on this one. That does the same as pulling it. It uses the last measurement you have used. So once again, the tape measure tool, I want to go here 0.4, and then here 1.3, and I want to pull up 0.2 and pull down on the blue axis, 0.2. Rolling in a little bit, I'm going to get the rectangle tool, I'm going to draw here, get the push pull tool, I'm going to pull this out to the same as them. So again with the erase tool, we'll remove some of this geometry line because we don't need them. And here you can see we have the same now on this face. So this part is now complete. I'm not going to do any more to that. So I'm going to end this video here, and in the next video we'll add more details into this part of the model.